Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, August 14th, 2025. How is everyone? I am enthusiast. Hello, LD Industries. Excellent. Inky, you saw the announcement in the socials and email. Congratulations. Thank you. You will notice I've changed my little contact information up there. The old Esterbrook.net still works, of course. But this is as good a place as any to promote the new site, which will go live. Hello, Hans. Which will go live tomorrow. Probably about 24 hours from now. 24 hours from now. Serpentine is out for delivery. Yeah. So I swear I saw that it said it was delivered, but I checked earlier today. But was doing a lot of things. So I discovered yesterday that I was very confused because a large number, I was getting first Cardinal package arrived safely, and I've never been so happy to see a teeny piece of metal. Good afternoon, Indy. Um, so I was looking at some statistics yesterday and looking at uh, how many people were reading the mailer, and um, I noticed an alarming statistic that I had to take action on today. Um, Gmail had apparently blocked a large number, and by large number I mean over 2,000 um, people on the list from receiving my email on Tuesday. So it actually didn't take too long. I mean, I was probably into it for 2 or 3 hours. I will say my mail provider, uh, you found your email in the spam folder. Well, at least you got it. Literally, there were 2,100 people who did not get it. It came through on an old email address. Okay. Well, so what we used to do is we used to send out and I wasn't going to do it this time. I was not going to do it this time around. We would send an email out on Tuesday, and if you didn't open it, we would send for the people who didn't open, we would send a friendly reminder on like Thursday. And usually, as time goes by, you mean to get to it, but you don't get to it. You got it in your Gmail this way. Okay, so that's part of this story. So I wasn't going to do a resend. Resend was always profitable. It doesn't take much to do a resend. Fuzzy, how are you? But I said, you know what? We've got this problem. We've got 2,100 Gmail customers who never got the email. I mean, it wasn't. You look all day long. It's not in your spam. It's nowhere. It was nowhere because was getting emails from people. Hey, put me on your list, and I would look, and I'm like, you're on the list. And then I looked at one of them last night, and I'm like, oh my. And then I look because I normally don't pay attention to the statistic. Bounced emails. It's like 15 out of 13,000. That's usually what the average number is, and it's email address doesn't exist anymore. It's a soft bounce. The mailbox is full. Things like that. I don't pay attention to it, and I looked and I'm like, holy cow, we got to do something about this. So I had to get into Google Postmaster Tools, validate the domain, and then MailChimp has been exceptionally helpful. That's who I use. I really didn't think this time around maybe they were going to be able to answer my question. I thought it was a little more technical and it was a little more, sometimes with mail, if any of you are IT admins or mail admins, if you're an IT admin, it doesn't necessarily mean you understand email. And that's why there are mail admins. And it's just so complicated. And like within, yeah, it's good you discovered this now before people start missing order confirmation. Yeah. Well, I think the problem is Google identified it as unsolicited mail. And I mean, it was a large amount. It was a very large amount of mail that went out. And so anyway, I got on support, and within 10 minutes, they had identified the problem on my end. Because, of course, I had all this stuff set up before. And so now I have to reset up everything, right? And I missed 2 DNS records that I shouldn't have missed. I should have thought about. But it doesn't matter. I missed them, and they say, okay, well, we got to go through and we have to re-authenticate the domain on our side, and we'll put those DNS records in, and within 48 hours you should be verified and you should be good to go, and you should be able to resend to those people. Within 45 seconds, they had verified the domain through the DNS records, good to go. And I said, talking with my daughter this morning, I said we should really just resend it. I didn't want to do it on the first one, but I said maybe some of these 2,100 people care, because I bet they do. Some of them do. So we sent it out, and sure enough, after much to do to try to figure out the numbers, because sometimes MailChimp's, some of their stuff is not exactly, I don't consider it accurate, how they come across some of their numbers. But we discovered that the people who didn't open also included the people who had bounced. So we sent out not too long ago, and I did notice that some of the Gmails that were on the list actually did get, not only did you get the email, they actually opened it. So so that should be fixed. And we're good to go. So last minute stuff today, and then tomorrow all the fun begins. So and once again, thanks for everybody. You did get the email and Gmail about an hour ago. Yep, yeah, that's about right. Yep. So hey, I mean, maybe it'll work out to my favor, because now I got people talking about it again. So I guess that works out. It was not, but just everybody, it was not intended. I did not want to bother people twice in the same week about it. I mean, I realize I have to promote my business, but it was not how I wanted to do it. Anyway, let's see what we got here. All right. This is where we left off yesterday. And Hans, I just want to say, I know your brother's amazing. Your whole family's amazing. All you guys. You guys are amazing. So he's he's pretty much almost done with everything we discussed yesterday. I mean, as of like 2 hours ago, he was like, yeah, I mean, like the 4 or 5 things I had done, he's got like pretty much everything done except for one. So the mobile is looking great. We got one more thing to tackle, and then I believe he's done. So I am forever in your debt for recommending him take care of my stuff. All right, so let's see. Moving right along. I spoke with this customer today. This is like the most frustrating batch of pens we have had. Glad I worked out for both. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna work out great. Um, I who knows? Lisa and I were talking like we could keep this guy employed. I got other projects. I got other projects I want to do. This is the most frustrating batch of pens I think I've had in quite a long time. Now that happens when you have large batches of pens. Inevitably, 3 out of 15 don't work so well, don't come apart, whatever. So these three PFMs, and if you don't know anything about PFM, it costs nothing to ask if he has time. You never. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what impresses me, I think, the most, uh, it's wonderful to work with brilliant people because you can kind of see the gears turning up here. You don't have to understand it. It's he's fixing things that I didn't necessarily ask for, but that are a problem, that he's discovered along the way. Like, oh, he's like tidying this up, tidying that up. Oh, well, this doesn't look right. Let's fix that while we're here. Um, and it's just makes me happy. It's just makes me so. Um, where are we? PFMs. I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a good mood today. Um, these guys just won't open, and the PFM just not many of them you will find. We discussed it yesterday. Polish that up. And as such, the part supply is it's not much. Regular snorkels, yeah, everything interchanges, pretty much, pretty much. From the lowest low end palladium open nib to the two-tone 14 karat conical nib, all the parts pretty much interchange, except for the snorkel tubes and a few little things. He does have a combination of technical skills and eye for design. He does. He does. Very grateful. Um, you can carry us to YouTube with the strongest 30 Diamondback. Yeah, there we go. So these parts are not really available. I don't want this to be the. I mean, it should be. It should be. The Hans appreciation show, because I am very appreciative of everything Hans has done for me this year. Um, I owe him dinner at some point, but I don't think we're going to see each other till May. So there is that. But you just can't find these parts. Gray is the hardest color. You can't find the parts. And when this nib unit distorted, I'm out. When you call in favors, you want the favors to be like a real favor. I mean, yeah, that was a favor because I don't have a gray. I mean, but I don't want to do it again. There's 3 more here. Um, you'd love to have dinner with Hans and I someday if you get to cook it. Yeah, all right. We'll figure that out. So my suggestion to the client was, and in my thinking process, I'll take you through the thought process here. In 4 years. All right. Snorkels, you can bring good beer and wine. Yeah, I bet you can. Yeah. Snorkels in general have like 3 points, like 2.5, I guess might be. It's kind of a point of contention, I suppose, at sometimes. Um, they seal back here with an O-ring. There's a point holder gasket in the front section. And sometimes what we understand is Schaefer did sometimes seal the barrels, and sometimes they did not. It appears that sometimes sealing the barrel can maybe help, but if those 3 points of the pen are well sealed, as we pull out or push down on the plunger, the touchdown tube, it will be enough vacuum to compress the sack to fill the pen. Okay. Usually, almost usually, this O-ring is hard as a rock. It will not seal, no matter what you do. Your sack, of course, has to be. It can't be. It's got to be good. It's got to be soft and flexible. Otherwise, it's not gonna compress. And since we can't get these open, my thought process is, since there is a gasket in there, let's put a little extra silicone grease in there so that maybe it will seal up around the snorkel tube and the pen will fill. That's my thought process. I don't know if it'll work. If it does, it will be interesting to find out. We'll find out next week, I guess, because we got to put sacks on today. But that's what we're gonna do. So we'll do that. We gotta pull some. We gotta pull a nib for, I think, this guy here for sure. We got those guys, and maybe we will start off. I want to retest this Vacumatic that we ended up with yesterday. Now that it's sealed, it has become such a highly problematic pen that I want to make sure it's okay before it leaves. So, all right. Let's double check what we got here. This one goes for this guy. So, we're gonna put sacks on here. You can come to be the comedian. Great. We can have like a little Twitch club dinner. You could show how not to repair pens. There's plenty of those videos already on YouTube. All right. I cleaned off my side table here today. I had those desk sets. You can put stickers on the pens. I bet you can. Ooh, excuse me. So if we can finish these up and get these out of here, that'll be great. I guess I didn't need that cutting board, did I? Well, yeah, I'm gonna need it. Lisa and I did dinner last night. We decided to go out to eat. We don't do it much. Maybe once a month at most. And one of our favorite Mexican restaurants happens to have a second location like within a mile of us. So like, yeah, let's go there. So that was kind of fun. Tried a new burrito that they have. It was chorizo. If you like burritos, and I like burritos, I'm a burrito kind of guy. Chorizo, grilled chicken, and bacon with a jalapeno sauce drizzled on top. You're a burrito enthusiast. This place has killer. I mean, I don't know how I it's probably why I'm not really losing weight. I mean, I ride 120 miles a week on my bike, but I really am not losing weight because I am also a burrito enthusiast. I'm a food enthusiast. Pasta particularly. But this place they have a whole menu, like a whole page. And there must be 30 maybe different burritos. It's sort of ridiculous. I thought, you know what, I'll try a different one. Yeah, I had pasta for lunch. I know, I can't bitch about your weight if all you eat is pasta and rice and I do wish they had, of course they got the decent Mexican beer selection, but I wish they had Negro Modelo on tap. That would be really, really. You're intrigued? That clean? These look clean. You spend enough time in the Southwest to gain an appreciation for all types of Mexican food. And this is authentic too. They've got apparently 3 locations. I thought I had been to one of them's a little bit south of us. Unfortunately, there's almost no reason no reason to come to Appleton, Wisconsin. Or as it's also known in the Southwest food, yeah. Of course, we go in. You'll love this. We go and we find the plaza that it's in, and it's a cute little plaza. It's got a barber shop and a nail salon. I think there's a tattoo shop there. I mean, it's a little of everything. Little Pokemon card store or something, vape shop. But there's a store that's empty. First thing Lisa does is we get out of the car. She goes, "Ooh, that's available." You know, it's a mile from the house. Like, yeah, might be jumping the gun a little bit, honey. New home, yeah, yeah. I'm like, and we looked in, and it's not huge. And I don't want huge. I don't want huge. We had huge before. I think that was it's not something I want. I want small and intimate and then room to ship stuff because shipping is going to be a large part of our life. But we'll stick to the plan. I do think if a store becomes something in the future, it's going to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday venture. How many packs of Pokemon cards did he buy? Maybe opening them as my next thing. I'm not into the Pokemon thing. Not not in that. Baseball cards. I used to be into baseball cards. Room to make shipping efficient and pleasant for the Packers seems like a good investment. Yeah, yeah. Packers being me, not the Green Bay. Um, yeah, just a little place. I mean, I would probably be there 6 days a week, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be open 6 days a week anymore. Small store might be nice if the cost is really reasonable. Yeah, yeah, like not much more than warehouse space. That's really what I want. I actually almost thought this was maybe a little bit too big. I don't want to feel like we did before, where we have to carry lines of product because we have space to fill. We have excess space. Yeah, yeah. It would be a Thursday through Saturday, and I would still be there Monday through whenever, just to come in and ship packages and ship and receive packages. Yeah, when you get big, that would be a great promotion. Hire the Green Bay Packers to pack orders for a day. What would it cost? A few million? Well, some of those guys do all sorts of. Some of them do things for small businesses. I mean, it's not there's like the local car dealership that's has every brand, and they've got hundreds of dealers or hundreds of locations in the valley here. You've got the quarterback is on every sign. Maybe the Packers love pens. Uh, you know, um, in all my years open, I had oh shoot, Dave would remember. I had one Green Bay Packer come into the store. Um, and if you want to count John Bergstrom, who was on the board for the Green Bay Packers and wears uh, a Super Bowl ring on his finger. Um, one and a half. John came in once, wanted a Mont Blanc that actually did not exist. I ordered him the next best thing, and then he never came back to pick it up. And so I got stuck with this geometric dimension ballpoint solitaire. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pen. I was stuck with this pen for like 5 years. Yeah, we called him up several times. I mean, he owns every car dealership, just about. In well, and it was a $1,500 pen, maybe $1,200, $1,500 pen, and it was one of those things where this usually happens to me. Um, it was in the store so long, it ended up going to Chicago, and it was in the store in Chicago, and everybody look at it and go, wow, it's beautiful. It's geometric dimension, solitaire. I mean, you look it up. It's the little snow cap is mother of pearl. I mean, it's Legrand size, so it's big, it's heavy, it's beautiful, and I see. You know what? I'm done with this crap. If nobody buys this by whatever the date was, I'm just gonna keep it. It's yeah, it was long. Yeah, it was long enough to be an employer store mascot. Yeah, well, we tried it, um, but he didn't buy it. But the other packer, the actual packer that came in, he was retired, and I'm not a huge football fan. I'm a Green Bay Packer fan. We live here. I don't watch the games. If there's a Super Bowl party and somebody invites me over, I might go. Um, oh yeah, yeah, I saw that Lamy ad. But I don't follow sports much other than cycling. I can tell you what's going on usually. Football, no, I have no idea. I like baseball. 100 and whatever many games is way too many games for me to keep track of. Dave will come over and like, oh, we're going to a Brewers game. Great. How are the Brewers doing this year? I mean, I don't know. It's August. Well, they're in first place. Great. But so I'm not usually around. I haven't met. I mean, I can count on one hand the number of football players I've ever met in my life, and I'm sure it's more than one. Um, but I don't really recall. And this guy was retired, so sometimes when they retire, they trim down a little bit. This dude was big. You just don't. If you haven't met one, you don't know how big these people are. I mean, these guys, they come in and you're like, I'm 6 foot tall. I mean, I don't consider that to be tall, but apparently it's above average for height for guys. See you, Fuzzy. Thanks for tuning in. And this dude come in and he's like three of me. He's three of me. Gosh, what was his name? Defensive back too, I think, is what he was. He ended up buying a vanishing point. He came in and bought a vanishing point, which I thought was kind of interesting because it's. Well, it's going to bother me. You're small. You're on the other end of the spectrum. Yeah, I mean, like this dude was like 6'7". I mean, he had to have been, I don't know, 350, 375. I mean, it was just like, yeah, nice to meet you, sir. If you shave, you look like a kid. I tell you what, enjoy that as long as you can. Someday it won't be that way. Normally, I put those upside down in my knockout block, but in the event we're gonna need it, let's organize this a little bit here. This goes against my OCD. All right, now they're all at least in the same order. When you want freebies, you shave. You look younger than your age forever, but now I look my age. Gonna go cry. Your daughter's 40 and she still looks like 15. Yeah, yeah, right. Um, I have discovered. I don't know if it's. I've discovered as I've aged, shaving is like, and like his facial hair is growing faster than it used to. It just seems that way. Um, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right, so those we're gonna let those go. I think this is our cracked version. Yeah, that's our cracked version. You don't shave because you're lazy. Yeah. Well, if I don't shave and I'm after a couple of days and I'm in front of the screen, it just looks like I'm homeless. If I'm in the public eye, I do prefer to shave. I had a store I shave every day. Maybe miss a day once. In a while. Oh, we need a new nib for this guy. It could just be me. I was partly depressed at the beginning of the year, so I didn't really care what I looked like. But now it's not the case, and I do care. So let's put these guys together. The wonder of working remote. Yep. Look on the bright side, I'm rebounding. Yeah, I sure am, aren't I? Oh, Canada. I don't normally sell non-US Esterbrooks. I usually keep them for myself, but you put my smiling face on your notifications bar so when streams start, your smiling face pops up on the right side of your bar. Like that might, I don't know what to think of that. Maybe a little weird. I'm flattered. Thank you. But I've got like a number of these. There were a number of these in this big collection, and I don't need to save four of them. It will be interesting to see where this goes. I wonder if somebody from Canada buys it. I probably need three for my collection, but not four. I have to kind of leave some of that big collection available for sale. I'm gonna put a real basic nib in this pen. I don't want to put anything too fancy in it because someone may just buy this for to add it to the collection and not do anything with it. So I don't do Windows. Notice the right side, you get a notification. Yeah, the notification bar in the lower right. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I had looked at possibly going back into IT, but I've been out of it for so long that I couldn't tell you what the latest version of Windows is or the latest version of Windows Server. I mean, the latest version of Windows Server now is. I met with some of my former IT buddies actually a month or so ago. We had dinner. We meet up a couple times a year, and like they're sunsetting all the applications, all the servers that we were trying to upgrade to when I was in the business. All right. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, man, Thursdays are up so early. I was up at 3:30, kind of in and out of sleep till about 5, and then Lisa gets up. You have an old Novell certification. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's something, huh? You work in IT, but you lucked out. Current company was willing to teach me out. Oh, okay. I mean, I probably could do it. I probably would get back into um one of my past sysadmin buddies. Um, she moved over to the app management side, so she's an app analyst. I thought, yeah, that would be maybe less of a. I mean, learn one app, but learn it really, really well. No, I have no dev. No way. Sysadmin or app analyst, I think would be where I would go. Good afternoon, Jason. You got the pens. Didn't realize how fine a Parker 51 fine was, but happy it is. Don't shoot me if I put Quink in it out of Waterman Black. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put Quink in it. Quink is good. Quink is good. Yeah, and like, you'll find the more you go down the Parker 51 rabbit hole, um, 90% of them are fine or extra fine. Parker Super Chrome. Hans, come on. You left pre-sales in cybersecurity and went to a corporate systems analyst. Kind of a flip. Yeah, I mean, I thought that maybe might be an interesting because there are people who understand tech who are people. You know what I mean? And tech people are not always people person, you know. And they're not people friendly, and then they need someone to translate for them. I wouldn't consider myself a people person, but I've been in customer service for long enough that I can kind of, I can fake it. You prefer CLI? Yeah, most tech people severely introverted. Yeah, I mean, we had some brilliant people on my last team, and they were really really smart. But I remember this one guy in particular. I never had to deal with him, but his reputation preceded him. Um, and the comment was, "Is he didn't suffer fools lightly." Yeah, dedicated person. Yeah, so I thought app anal. I mean, it would be less technical, and like I'm dealing with Hans's brother on the web development side, but I understand what he's saying, but I don't understand what he's saying. I mean, like I get it enough to know what he's doing. Yeah, yeah. All right, so Going totally Linux in a few months and will boot to prompt most likely. Wow. Commodore 128, here we come. Wow, it's just really nasty, scratchy on that one side. I used to use Linux with terminal services. But I had to have a GUI for people to boot into. Otherwise, they wouldn't know what to do if all of a sudden something didn't go right. Because I had to give them something. So I used SUSE. Removed pretty much all the icons off the desktop except for the R desktop, and everybody knew how to turn it on, hit that button, and I just set it up so it auto launch. They restarted the machine, it would automatically go into our desktop. We got a mint in a box Tandy color 2. I had a Commodore 64 that blew up. And my cousin was into building computers at the time. And we had two options. We had get a Commodore 128 or build an IBM PC clone. And sadly, I went with the 128. You're dual booting with Mint. Hmm. Still a Red Hat. I could never get. I was never. I don't know. First computer you had was a Tandy. You met the son of the guy who sold it to your dad at the DC show. Wow. So I should have gone with an IBM PC, but I didn't. Yeah, I just couldn't keep up. And for a while, I was trying all sorts of different distributions. Because my problem is we had basically a $0 budget for the IT department, um, which meant I always had old computers that were just incapable of running any decent Windows operating system. But I could put SUSE on there for my remote stores, slap our desktop on, and they would last forever. In fact, well after I don't remember how long they lasted, but I doubt they still using that. All right. Ooh, nice. I've never Gen 2. Huh. I like this pen. My goal was to get something that was as Windows-esque as possible for the end user, and SUSE fit that bill, and it was easy to install. Um, you can't you can't get too overly technical because in many cases especially in the music industry, the operating system we're on, the musician doesn't care. Um, they don't care. They need to know how to turn it off, how to turn it on, and it needs to be like a 3-minute introduction. Here you go. The buttons are very similar. You got to hit this button here. It looks a little different than what you're used to. Let's see. What was the gray color? BT. L was blue. N was, where's that chart? E was green, I think. Oh, let's look it up. Because it's not G. Boy, I think I've been on my website a while. Holy smokes. Sorry, I'm just looking for this link to the Esterbrook catalog. I'm just never going to find it. I just need to put this somewhere. You know, if only I had a website. All right, well, I can't find it. It's what is it? It's L was blue. BT and gray. That's all I got right now. Yes, we're all a bunch of nerds. Anybody old enough to remember those computer magazines where they had page after page after page after page after page of machine code, and then you would type it in, and boom, you got yourself a game? And then if you screwed up one of the octets, you had to go. You remember? I had this great game on the C64. It was uh, it was a horizontal scroller. I forget exactly what it was called, but it was a guy on a flying carpet. Cassette drive. Yeah, you know, that came in kind of. I came into it like right as the cassette drive was like on its way out. I mean, if you know the BKBC, thanks for following. If you know the Commodore era, there was the 1541. If you know what that is, the thing's as it was literally as big as the desk. That was your 5 1/4 inch floppy drive. I had one of those bad boys. I wanted the cassette drive, but I wasn't sure why I wanted it. I just wanted it. And then I understood that it was really going to be a pain. And they weren't being used anyway. Although ironically, at my first IT job, and and this is still the case, right? Probably. Um, the first drive was a 1571. um, I was flummoxed when my first IT job, which wasn't that long ago, backup drives were tapes. I mean, do they still do that? And you could store a ton of data on a tape. It just take forever to retrieve it. If you keep the old zip drive. But I remember every day, part of my routine, a lot of people still use them. Go down to the server rack. They're the last night's tape had, popped out of the machine. Check to make sure it successfully backed up. Grab that tape. Put the date on it. Put it in my briefcase. Take it home with me at night. Put the new tape in. Reel to reel. Wow. Sorry, I gotta look at this text here. As time went on, we ended up disposing of a bunch of the tapes, different tape systems and whatnot. And for some dumb reason, we kept all the old tapes. And I tossed the tapes, but the little tape, the cassette tape boxes were just so handy for things. And for a long time, for a long time, I used them actually to ship pen parts and stuff. You want to take a nap, but you're waiting on an Amazon delivery? I kind of want to take a nap too. It was funny. I was chatting with my daughter this morning. We were talking about the resend of the mailer and all that jazz. And I said to her, I said we had confirmed something, and then 4 minutes later, I sent her a text. I said, "Go ahead and send the mailer." And then I didn't hear back from her. And I'm busy doing my own thing. And I don't know, it was like an hour later. I'm like, hour and a half later or something. I'm like, we text her like, "Did you take a nap?" She did. She was out like a light. Bam. All right, I get those guys. Now that I got a free space on my desk, I can just slap that there. I totally want to take a nap. Thursdays are rough, man. Yeah, right. All the things we hated as a kid, with love as an adult. Nap? Yes, please. The problem is, as an adult, I have found it is so ingrained in us that taking a nap is like, not something you should be doing. You should be working. You should be something to clean. There's always something to do in the house, right? So we don't get around to thinking about taking a nap until it's like pretty late. And we kind of have a rule. It's like if we take a nap, like you got to get up by 5:30. If your nap goes past 5:30, you are never getting to bed before midnight. Um, so if it's like 4:45 and you're going, man, I can take a nap, it's almost too late because you're only going to get 45 minutes. So like I love to take a nap, but when we get done, it's 5:30. It's 5 o'clock, right? Can't take a nap. Yeah, yeah, they're just awesome. I have to double and triple stack my inks on my shelves. When is it too much ink? Yeah, yeah. Hanging shelves on Amazon. If you don't care what it looks like, the metal shelves I get on Amazon are $50 a pop, 3 feet. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? I mean, it'd be stupid for ink. They're 3 feet wide, 36 inches wide, 14 inches deep, 6 feet tall. Then you do need some kind of mat. We use that plastic stuff that you can put under rolling chairs to protect floors. We get that, and then we cut it. I think that's what we get. We cut it up. Um, but I mean, if you're looking for an industrial solution, plastic shelf liners, yeah, yeah. We have the same shelf, yeah. They're great. Shape racks, yeah, they're racks, right? Yeah. And so what I do is I buy. I think I've said this before because they come in with 5 shelves. Um, which is not enough, and so I buy like I forget what the number is now. I make them so that there's 7 shelves. So if I buy three, I think it's if I buy 3 shelves, if I want 3 shelves, racks of 7 shelves, and then your spacing is like this. I have to buy 4, and then I'll end up with 2 with 7 and 1 with 6. So I have to buy like one extra for every 3 that I buy. You've got 10 or 20 that need to go. Take them to your monthly pen club meeting. I actually, now that I think about it, um, I need to set a reminder for Sunday. Because we've got pen club, and I'm afraid no one seems to want those. Well, you know what we ought to do is all the pen club organizers ought to get together somewhere and then swap out their bags of stuff. You can find journals and inks and pens. Yeah, I mean we got some. We don't have really any really good pens. Although one time there was one of those. What are they? The Mahjong Vanishing Point copies. You, you took the one no one wanted last time and don't like it either. It's way too light to write with. Yeah, give it back. Our esteemed, you've been given 3 platinum Curidas over the last year, all broken. Our esteemed keeper of the goods is not going to be there this month, so I don't know who's. Although I don't think she was there last month, so maybe she gave it to somebody already. I don't know. Journal Club is on Saturday. There you go. I'm terrified. I'm gonna space it off on Sunday, and I and it wouldn't be a big deal, but this month and next month I'm the presenter, so I kind of need to be there. Do a Zoom call if I miss. Well, we're talking about the salad spinner this month, so I kind of need to be there. And the reason one of our president isn't going to be there is because it's um, And ironically, it is the only bike ride in the area that takes place on a Sunday. Every other bike ride, organized ride or anything like that, all take place on Saturdays. So I can never ever do any ride because we were always open on Saturday. And this is like the kind of the premier ride. It's actually it's deemed a race. It's 88 miles. It's around Lake Winnebago. But it's this weekend, and our president is doing that race. And in the past, and like last year when he did it, people have been trying to get me to do this race, and I don't know, for whatever reason I'm not committing. I'm not signing up, but I'll do 100 miles on the trainer that day, which is equally as difficult, if not more, and maddening. And last year I did 100 miles on that day. Well, I've been thinking about doing it because I try to do 200-mile rides every year, and I haven't done one yet this year. So I'll do one in like the week of after Christmas. But I do one around this time of year, so I've been thinking about doing it, and I found a couple rides that I want to do, but they're Sunday morning at either at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. And 100 miles is, depending on the terrain, 7 or 8 hours. So I would, I'd get done and be like, oh, I'm supposed to be at Penn Club at 1:30. Well, that's not going to work. All right. Well, this I think is about as good as I can get it. The nib's got a little bit of a slight wrinkle yet to it, but it writes well enough. It's straight. It is at least fixable. It's writable, usable. All right, so that needs to go back to customer. All right. There should be a page somewhere that has all the local clubs, and if they do a Zoom meeting for their club or a Zoom version. Yeah, writable is good. I did the St. Louis one a couple times. Oh, slap me. Someone's getting kind of cute. All right, what do we want to do next? Remember, so some of y'all been around long enough know that I had binders full of Esterbrook's at the beginning of the year. I really probably should look and see what we're short on. DC Pen Club has a great Zoom meetup. It might be fun to do. I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see. I'm going to take a look here real quick. This. Where did I go? Let's do this the smart way. So we need a pen. My Twisby. So let's do black. Blue. In no particular order, just how I read them off. All right, so green J, and then we're going to do this. That's interesting. Yeah, very self promotion. Welcome. Oh, interesting. Every Thursday at 7, huh? Yeah, so I mean, look at this. So what I'm doing here is this I left space for transitional on the top and then dollar pen here. So I mean, let's restore what we don't have, right? Ooh. LJ is always the lesser of the groups. Ooh, 14 SJs in green. We definitely don't need any red SJs. Needed a tray of additional tray of black. Okay, so let's Just out of curiosity. So this top corner here are transitionals. No surprise. Kind of a tough one to find. Okay. That can't be right. No transitional. Oh, I guess it's transitional LJ. This doesn't seem right. Oh, they're all in J size. That's where they are. Transitional J's in gray. 13. One. One blue. All right. Anybody want to take a guess? Yeah, the site will be up and working. Actually, we got to talk about that tonight. What time we're gonna make it live? Um, because I've got six pens, six vintage pens that I think are exceptional. Out of the what I don't know what the total number is going to be yet because I still have some. I'm waiting on some images for some pens. So 500 some pens. There are six that I think that are exceptional that we're going to show off during the podcast tomorrow. So I don't know if I want to show them off. I think I want to show them off before I make the site live. So if you're interested in X, Y, and Z, we're not going to do 500 vintages on live. Lisa would just like fall asleep and then she'd go to the post office and come back and I'd still be talking about them. But I was told six. Six is my limit that I can talk about. And 500, you live on the website? Yes. Yeah. Let me say it's 500 pens. There are about 100. There's about 125 consignment pens that right now not all of them are up, but some of those are vintage. And this right here is included in that number. So I mean, there's a lot of Esterbrook's. Model B dollar pens, including hard rubber, and I'm not going to separate those out, although maybe I should. Five hard rubber, nine. Two of those. 4 of those. Ooh, there we go. There's a space to fill. There's that. No Model A's in gray. And these are the ones to get. Probably a dozen of those. Oh, there's 4. All right, and the hardest to find. If you're a collector, this column is an important one. You notice all of the zeros. Only got 1? I've got to have more than 1. I have 1. 1H. And well, we'll try this. 1. I have 6 V clips, 3 slender, 3 full size. 6 V clips. All right, so those are our numbers. And no, I'm not going to count pencils. So, obviously any H, almost any A. B's in red or copper or blue. Let's see what we got for some of those. Now, these obviously aren't going to make it up in time for. Oh, here's 2 more hard rubbers. Another gray, another green. Hang on. Since we're doing this the smart way, let's do this the smart way. Hot chocolate. Nice. They were organized. I just don't remember which binder they're in. Ooh, that's pretty. I don't even know if I can show you this. All those pastels. Yeah, It's almost a full 96 pen case of just pastels. Which means the dollar pen's got to be in here. There they are. Hello. There's 2 more V clips, 2 more hard rubbers, 3 more hard rubbers. Let's see. A lot of J transition. We don't need that, but we do want copper. Here's a copper A. Here's a copper B. How are we doing on red? Could use red. There's a red A or B. Let's do that one. I got multiples of those. We don't need any gray. Don't really need any green. Oh, hey. But here's a gray bandless. That's pretty cool, huh? Well, that's it. There's not much. I've got grays and greens. T.U. Lee, how you doing? Jeez. Forgive me while I'm mucking about here. This one is absolutely disgusting. But maybe we can clean it up. Yeah, a little disappointed I don't have. Okay, we got black A's. All right, well, is what it is. Keep missing it. Good to see you in Pen Addicts chat. Yeah, I try to tune in. If I've got to concentrate too hard on something, I just can't. I can't have it on. I was on the other day, but so that's a pretty fun little. And clearly not many in the H column. So if anybody needs an H, I thought we had more than that though. We've got 1 model H on the site tomorrow in black. 1. Yeah, I mean that really shows you the distribution. That's interesting. I gotta keep that for tomorrow. Hi Glenn, how are you? Paper. What will be interesting? Oh, look at that. Well, that's no good. Be interesting to see what that number looks like by Monday. Yeah, no section. I don't really want to deal with that right now. that's that's gonna go back in the old kitty here. I'm getting picky with pens with sections and nibs. There is nothing more frustrating. Well, I can think of a lot of things that are more frustrating, but um, it is very frustrating to try to find an Esterbrook section that fits. This is just a this the one? This is disgusting. But I like a challenge. It's got like some glue or something on here. It's like all goobered up. This is a cartridge. A cartridge pen, but I just got in platinum converters and I ordered extra for all of these CA 101s. So when we sell them, they'll come with a converter and you can use them. We'll do this one last. Hey, listen, if you watch some of those old, and I might, I'll be change that sack out just for giggles. Old. Now that's an original sack. That might actually be good. This one I'm a little maybe concerned about. This pen doesn't look like it was used much. I bought plenty of pens without nibs. In fact, I think I once bought a modeled hard rubber number 5, I think, sized Wirt. It was modeled hard rubber, new old stock. And it was marked for U.S. Senate use. So presumably you would go to get a new pen and then they would fit it with the section nib and feed. I want to say it didn't have a section. It was an eyedropper, so it's all you're missing. But number 5, I think it was a number 5 size Wirt. It was a cool pen. Bought that from my buddy George. Boy, did I get heat for that though. Now it doesn't have a nib, it doesn't have a section. Oh, it had a cap. Absolutely had a cap. Yeah. Cap and barrel. New old stock, never used. I mean, couldn't have been used. You think you remember that from the old days? That was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. George used to come up. My buddy George Ramakis would come up to me at the show because he knew I collected Wirts at the time, and he'd always, every year or every show, he would come. He'd pull out his binder, and he never had a lot of pens in the binder, but every pen in there was like significant. And he'd always pull one out, and he's like, "Well, I bought this in a lot, and I don't collect these. I know you do." And he'd give it to me at such a fair price, I had to buy it from him. And eventually it got to the point where it'd be like, "Hey, listen, don't come around when Lisa's here because she's gonna get upset." It was kind of a joke. I mean, we weren't serious about it, but it's like, "Are you selling him another pen without a nib?" Yes. We had dinner with George once, and if you've never met George Ramakis, and you like seriously old vintage pens, that dude is sharp as a tack. Really, really, really good kid. We had dinner with him once, it was an infamous meeting because I forget what show it was, but the waitress, it was like the one rare occasion. Lisa doesn't usually drink beer. I mean, you should take a sip of mine or whatever, and that's fine. She usually drinks wine or you know maybe a White Russian if she's really feeling frisky. But um, she ordered a beer, and they came in. Of course, they came in really tall glasses, and the waitress proceeded to dump the entire beer all over her dress. And this was like on a Friday night, maybe Saturday night. So I mean, it was not like the last day of the show, and we don't bring a whole lot of clothes to the show. Um, oh, he's okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Uh, yeah, he's only got like a few, but it'd be like a stainless capped skyline and he's like the one guy in the room that's actually got an original AT cross on him and stuff like that. But yeah, they spilled an entire beer all over Lisa. Just and we were like, well, now what? you know? And it was so funny because the waitress says, well, what did she say? Something like, well, don't worry, we won't make you pay for that one. Well, no kidding, man. Of course we're not. So you gotta wash it in the room and you gotta hope it dries by the next day because that's it. That's all you got. We went up to the manager later. It was like, that's not gonna cut the mustard, man. You gotta comp me a meal or something for that because happy for you all the hours of servicing these pencils and making dreams come true. Yeah, yeah, it could be. Or I was talking with my daughter about it this morning. So I'm like, I am so over this. Let's get moving. Let's go. Do it. I got things I want to buy. I got product I want to get. And unless a miracle happens, product I have is the product I have. So I've got some Sailor Ink and some Tuzu on the way, but they will not. I mean, if they got here tomorrow, it would be a miracle. Um, we're gonna deal with that in a minute. Yeah, I really haven't followed up much with George lately. It's when you're not on the show circuit, it's a different thing. All right. Ooh, 29.68. You had a waiter drop your entire dish on you at the Chinese place with your brother? Oh my goodness. The manager didn't want to do anything? The waiter offered to take my clothes home with them to wash them for me. Yeah, that would have worked. Like what? What are they going to give you? Give you an apron and walk out of there? I had just before COVID happened, the lockdown and all. I was in Chicago and I was at Miller's Pub and having dinner with some folks, and the waitress spilled an entire plate of pasta with red sauce all over my wool coat. And I'm like, and it was the night I had come into town, and Lisa, we were having dinner with these folks, and then Lisa was on her way back to Wisconsin for the weekend. So I was only going to be there for a couple of days. And of course, it's the middle of winter, and now my coat is. I mean, it's a disaster. Um, and so they comped my they did the right thing. They comped my meal, and then the manager gave me her card and said, "Go ahead, get it dry cleaned, and then just come back and we'll take care of the dry cleaning for you." Well, as luck had it, I mean, luck's a terrible word for that. Um, the lockdown happened, and it was a year and a half later. I'm like, I'm not coming to, because they weren't open for a year and a half. I mean, I wasn't there for a year and a half. I probably didn't get back for close to 2 years, and I don't like at this point, like it's $40, 40 or $50 to dry clean it. I'm just gonna eat it because there was no way I was gonna be able to do it, and get them a receipt back in short order. Sometimes it's a good thing when you pull these out, because that actually worked until it didn't, and we saw it on its last day. Yeah, at least they offered. They took care of the meal. Like, had I known that, I'd ordered steak or something. Well, I'm sorry to hear they dumped it all over you. That's terrible. All right. I don't know what we're going to do about this if this doesn't come off. We're going to have to pry this off. Yeah, it's not really worth your time to go back. At least they offered. I mean, under normal circumstances, I would have been back in a few weeks, and I would have, fine, that'll cover my meal at that point. I get a free meal out of it or something. Because usually when I went, I'd have a couple places I would eat at, but I mean, it would not be the best food. Um, it was on the first day you were visiting your brother when he lived in Pittsburgh, and you were in the same boat, not a huge number of clothes. Yeah, I mean, So yeah, this is the original sack. You can see the original gray here, but it's been highly discolored. So I think maybe we'll take this one off. That fills, I'll leave that one. I don't know. I don't know why I do that. I just kind of like to, you know, this one, this is the original sack too, but it looks really like a disaster. So it matches the pen color now. Yeah, I mean, I guess it does. You just, the thing is you just can't be sure how long that sack's going to last. I suppose I should take this one off. We'll deal with that. J bar for that. This whole thing is going in there. This is just, I mean, this is one of those things. Sometimes it's fun to deal with a pen that's this bad, but you can kind of see, I mean, there's like, I don't know what that is. It's disgusting. But this is just a lot of dirt. I bet you there doesn't seem to be like a lot of scratches. It seems like mostly dirt. Same with the cap. The blue is very pretty. What nib size? What do you want it to be? Where are my other? $25.56. Yeah, it's a fine. Yeah, it's a nice color. I like the orange too. I think the orange is, it's just a fun, happy color. Of course, now, these numbers that I had here don't reflect all the pens that are done that haven't been shot yet. So, you know, but we're still pretty skewed towards almost nothing on some of these categories. This one is a copper A red. Now we've got gray, but this is a bandless gray, so you know. Celadon cat to match the blue? I don't know. Now, a lot of these pens have been sitting for a long time, so they're pretty disgusting. You won Brad's Fire on Fire and Fire on Fire on Fire inks. Fire on Fire and Fire on Fire inks? Wow. That's a name and a half. Say that 10 times fast. Might look nice in that pen. I don't know. Maybe, huh? In the orange one? You'd have instant collection if everybody ordered something off that list. Yeah. Um, Let me see, just for giggles. I actually am only going to have on launch one pen in this CA 101 A101 family, and it's a blue not blue, I'm sorry, a black CA 101 with the platinum converter installed. So, but all the ones we did will be hopefully be making the next batch. You guessed at the light bulb you need, and you got it on Amazon? Guessed correctly? Great. Who makes the fire on fire and fire on fire? Don't say fire and fire. Don't say it. Don't say it. We got 3 spares for later. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Now the trick is remembering where you put those 3 spares later on. Our Dominic, thanks for following. Welcome. This will be a nice little pen. Poster? Oh, okay. Oh, I got an email from Robert yesterday. Yesterday, yeah. I suppose I should I need to talk to him. Special Central Park, Giants blue and Statue of Liberty copper, green, shimmer. Huh. How many inks does he have these days? Anybody know? What's the total number? It's gotta be. I mean, when I was a dealer ages ago, it was hundreds. Not hundreds, but it was close to 100 at the time. You know nothing about current inks? Yeah. It's hard to keep up. I like some of the Colorverse offerings, but there is an insane number of them and I just don't think that many inks is necessary. It's very hard to keep up. I remember right before we closed, they came out with one series that was like, I forget what it was. Let's just say it was blue with shimmer, and then maybe like a green with shimmer. But then there were like options. There was like blue with silver shimmer, and then blue with gold shimmer, and then blue with silver and gold shimmer, and then green with all three of those options. I was like, did people ask for this? You know, one color and there's 3 or 4. Man, there might have even been like red shimmer. I mean, it was just. Anybody know which one I'm talking about? There's probably multiples now. You know, and this is a color verse here. I like this. It's a nice color. Red with green shimmer is the cardinal ink. Yeah. But I don't use shimmer, and I'd want to use it. I mean, I'm not completely against it. I'm not going to only stock products I use. I mean, you know, there'll be. I'll have some shimmer inks, I'm sure. But we've had shopping lists look cool with shimmer inks. Cardinal Green would be a funny ink name. There could be a whole series of Cardinal Blue. Blue with red sheen. I mean, I guess I've got a Twisby. I guess I could use that. So yeah, I guess I got to get rid of this little apron here pretty soon. Your Twisby handle shimmer well? Yeah. Yeah, that's what everybody says. All right. Just remember to twirl the pen when you write with it. Can I be one of those guys that does this and go? I probably shouldn't be doing this with an X-Acto knife. Why is it getting in my cap? Exactly. Yeah. There you go. There we go. All right. Exactly. You could use a knife as a dip pen. It might be shimmer ink save. Yeah, it might be. That's a good idea. Right with it sideways, maybe. Like this. What size J-bar are we going to put in there? 54, I suppose, huh? Yeah. Okay. You cut and shimmer at the same time, yeah. This is really more like 62 size. Yeah, pretty close. That one's shorter. Well, not really. Cardinal green for Christmas holiday. Sanford Pennant inks used to have a cardinal red. And actually, ironically, I used to use that in my Morocco red $1.50 V clip, or not V clip, Morocco red $1.50 Model B. Well, it was B, and I forget what the second letter was, but yeah, my 2-hole clip dollar pen, $1.50 pen. When I graded papers in grad school. That was my grading paper ink. So if you got something wrong on your accounting paper or your finance paper, you knew it because it was such a bright red ink. Yeah, I got Lisa mad at me once because we were at the Atlanta show and somebody offered me, and if y'all ever been in our store in Appleton, you saw it, whether or not you realized it or not. An original Sanford Pennant rotating display, and it had mostly all full, not all full bottles, but it was filled up with bottles. Some were partly full, some were not. Over time, I sold the bottles, but I kept the display because I didn't know what the hell to do with it. And shipping it would have been a nightmare. Sounds like something you need. Shipping it would have been a nightmare. That works pretty good. What I really like are, and so those are like that was for the half-ounce bottle. They made like a bigger, was it a 2-ounce bottle or a 4-ounce bottle or something like that? Really quite unusual. And of course, it's got that kind of faceted look to it. I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's like this big. I mean, the normal ones are like, they're little teeny tiny. I don't know how anybody without a snorkel actually use those things. I don't think it was, no, it would have been 4. I bet it was a 2-ounce bottle. You know what? Funny thing. So you have a pilot ink display from the 60s. So I guess you should just be happy with that. The pennant bottle screwed into one of the dipless pens, the small bottle. The pennant bottle screwed into dipless. Huh. I'm not really sure what you're referring to there. Give you a minute. Okay. When we were in Chicago, I we had already picked the name of the company when we were in Chicago. Um, but we weren't going to tell anybody because I didn't want people to find out what the name is and then go to the site and and there's nothing there. I mean, it's probably bad enough that it's been like since Tuesday people have known, and I'm seeing the hits on the website. But where are my nibs? Here we go. Just for funds, I Lisa got me some socks that had cardinals on them. Really, actually, they're really pretty cool socks. And I wore them in Chicago during the Chicago Pen Show. Where's the Instagram? Later. So now there actually was somebody who had cardinal pens. I think that's what it was. So ours is, and they didn't do anything with it. They put like one post up, and that was the end of it. So we took cardinal pens and paper. I think is the one that we took. So it is up. I did actually post something on it today. I think I posted on it today. But I mean, we'll get the social media humming soon. Our priority was YouTube and getting the website up and running. But we'll get all the fun stuff on there once Lindsay's caught up with everything that she's doing. There's that little piece of glue or whatever. We'll get back into the swing of things. But I just thought it was kind of fun. We were in Chicago. I got my Cardinal socks on. I suppose I wear them tomorrow for luck. All right, Hans has got a thing for us here. Something tells me I've seen this before. This sounds familiar, but I'm just really drawing a blank. Spin those out in a minute. Search a document for it. Look at the desk. Yeah. All right, let's see if this works. There we go. Sanford Company Deskette. Virtual replay of Carter's game plan for its cube well. Use the desk set as a loss leader, going after Carter's with inventions. Priced at $1.50 to compete head on with the cube well. The deskette included a pen supplied by Morris. Wait a minute. I got one of those around here. Believe it or not, I do. This one's got a cool band on it. The inkstand was designed to accept Sanford's newly introduced cube-shaped 10-cent bottles of Pennant ink, of which 2 were included with the set, while Carter's $3 Style Writer, which came with only 1 bottle ink, was basically just a gussied-up version of the $1.50 cube well. The Sanford Deskette is a compact, elegantly smooth, and streamlined product, equally well-suited for home or office. Walnut mahogany. Design carefully. Oops. Okay. And then there's my most favorite hated desk set ever on the planet. Just happens to be here. The Fine Line Safeguard set. Yeah, locked customer to buying specially packaged ink. Yeah, and they're not really restorable, from my understanding. Yeah, so that is essentially here is a Morissette desk pen. This is a really nice one. It's got a lucite feed. This is a heavy metal band in the middle. This is no chintzy little piece of trim here. I can't believe how much this thing weighs. It's ridiculous. And kind of sad that I actually had one sitting here on the desk. But the nib unit is threaded. And it's this whole upper portion here. It's really... So I guess I know what I need to buy now. All right. I don't know why I was thinking you were going to take the cap off and then screw some doohickey on there with the desk pen and then, you know, to flip the bottle upside down and that was going to be it. Some, you know, weird modern incarnation. Which obviously it was not. I once thought about getting into all those little dipless desk sets, but Esterbrook's enough. It's not too late. You can get me started with an instant collection. I had an instant collection once. I had a consigner who had all the Morissettes and the like. Free. Oh my heavens. Just pay shipping. You'll even throw one for Lisa. Yeah, there's going to be more throwing involved. She's going to throw it at me. Oh, well. Yeah, that's not going to work. Clip is wonky. Which is too bad because I need another cap. I could say if I didn't have had a bad barrel or something, we could use the cap. But so these clips, when you got that, that's almost useless. So we may let this one go. Although it would be a good exercise to try to get that inner cap out and see what that clip connection is like, but I suspect it's going to be a royal pain to fix. Hmm. Yeah, I'll have 3 to 4 hours labor. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm okay with learning new things. This whole pen is a disaster, is what this is. Uh, the nib came out, but not the collar. And you can see it's cracked. So this collar is useless. I'm afraid all you'll learn is disappointment. Yeah. I mean, you know, on when it boils down to it, it's a $50, $60 pen, right? The nib's not salvageable. The collar's not salvageable. Cap's crappy. This is just breaking apart like. Yeah, yeah, just to learn how it goes together. What I am going to do is, since this is a decent section, I'm just going to clean this out. I might need this someday for something. Look at that. Just, I mean, I really wouldn't even put any force in it at all. All right. Well, that looks good. That's the best part of the pen right there. All right. Hans wants to see how it goes together. Yeah, if it, I hate to put too much force on. Oh, look at that. It came right out. A little bit different design. It's got a little bit of a. Jeff, thanks for the follow. Oh, my. It is. I really can't tell what I'm looking at. There's. I need to find my smaller light. Using the iPhone is really terrible. What I should do is cut one of these apart. I think it is just bent over little tabs. I mean, very small. Like, it's no surprise. And I think what it look by the look of it, they're rusted. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So if we look at this close, I think where we're at is there's just from here to here is a set of tabs that just goes in. It's barely in there. I wonder if they put the clip in and then they put something inside the cap. Maybe some kind of anvil device to go in there and I thought maybe there might have been a little piece of metal in there holding it together, but there's not. It'd be great if I could see what I'm looking at when I'm. All right, we're not going to cut it open, but there's no way this. I can't sell this pen. But for the sake of science, now we're prying it up. So this is the cap. We've got two small holes here. These are just kind of scratches from the top of the clip. And that's it. This one is appeared to be bent over. So maybe they bent them in. I don't know. And this one is straight up. But it also appears to be missing. This one kind of comes to a point. It's kind of hard to see, but it's bent over and comes to a point. And this one, it's missing that point, which is probably what was holding it in the. Yeah, rust got to it. So, what we need to do is we need to solder You need to solder on a piece of metal. Yeah, it was. I bet it was because this looks like this is. It's really hard to laser weld. Yeah, it's hard to see, but it does come to a point and it's bent over. It's bent over just slightly, and I bet if both of them were there, it was probably at one point strong enough to hold it in place. Strip the plating off, laser weld it, and rechrome. Simple, yeah. Hey, and while I've got the clip off, hey, let's clean up all this crap. That make that easy, huh? Got all the fun stuff everybody's learning on this stream today. You're not getting this anywhere else. Wow. Okay. You may have a cracked cap at some point for a donor clip, yeah, or need an inner cap. That's pretty strong, actually. I used to have a pair of pliers around here. I don't know where the heck they went. Welcome for the learning. Stay for the funny. What was it that one time we spent a week trying to fix a CX100? Or that Schaefer touchdown with the bent nib that we just call a Waverly? Well, I'll tell you what, that's pretty strong. That little tab, that's pretty strong. Your fountain pen PBS. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's why these are. I mean, that's they weren't messing around. But yeah, this pen saw better days somewhere on the. All right, well, let's see. Just so I don't lose that inner cap or wonder what the heck it is, we're gonna put that back in. Well, it is good to know that the inner cap came out super easy. Some of that water out. I guess the good news is I don't have to supply another platinum converter. There were some scratches on this barrel. I mean, just from putting in the ultrasonic and wiping it off, it's much better, but there's still some what's there. There's a little scratch. All right, well, put that over there. Hey, we got a feed out of the deal. Bad nib. It had a life. Yep. Hmm. Lisa is very late. That one we didn't get over. Your Amazon order is very late too. Well, 3 a.m. to 11 p.m. I think that's what we determined the proper timing is. That looks weird. Look how distorted this is. The orange one is normal, but look, this is like, and I'm pretty sure this is the original sack. All right, it is 4:53. I am going to cut it a little bit early today. I guess we just hit 3 hours, didn't we? We got these to look forward to. Oops. All right. These to look forward to on Monday. I don't know if Monday's a possibility. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, have a good night, Indy. Um, Tuesday for sure. So, not tomorrow. If y'all want something to do tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. So it's just slightly before when I normally am streaming. Will be the live YouTube. And it is at Cardinal Pens on YouTube. And then the site will go live so you can all check it out. All the Esterbrooks and Parkers and Schaefers and all that good stuff. A great evening, good luck lunch. Y'all watching. Yeah, thank you. Thanks to you. Thanks, Hans. So anyway, that'll be tomorrow. We're still working that out. So we'll you follow the Instagram? Great. Yeah, I think I saw you pop up here. So it'll be fun tomorrow. We've long since required anything of a more than an outline. We used to type them all out. I told Lisa, I said, how funny would it be? We should just for the first one, we should just type out it word for word like we used to. Used to do that. We used to type out everything that we were going to say, which is ridiculous when you think about it. But anyway, so that's tomorrow. Mondays I was thinking to take off, but I don't know if I might not need to. Because with Lisa home on the weekend, she might be able to help me with shipping and some of the other things. So maybe if we're lucky and things go well, it'll be I can still stream Monday through Thursday. So I will adjust my schedule on Monday if I'm not going to be on there. I think currently it says still on Monday. So just keep an eye out. Otherwise, worst case scenario, I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Thanks everyone for your support. Have a great evening, a great afternoon, a great morning, wherever you are. Congrats again. Thanks, Enthusiast. Yeah. Be kind, be well, and tune in tomorrow. You'll be in surgery tomorrow. Oh, you're gonna leave me with that. I hope that goes. I hope that's nothing too serious. I hope that goes well. Definitely tune in and let us know you're okay. So anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, take care.